A terrifying creature that really loves cows and also humans has taken up residence in this lake. This is the recap of the movie Lake Placid, and it's better for you not to eat anything while you watch it. A sheriff, Hank Keogh, is boating with his colleague, Officer Lawson. This man is passionate about diving, and he dives into Lake Black in order to explore the underwater world. The sheriff is waiting for Lawson in the boat. To kill time, he is listening to music and eating cookies. The officer is diving deeper and deeper and notices a small turtle in the water. He looks inside a small underwater cave. One more turtle swims out of there. Lawson is very curious and he tries to take a closer look at everything. Suddenly, something approaches him from behind and grabs him. The officer swims to the surface and begs for help. Something is trying to drag him down. The sheriff grabs an oar, however, his friend is nowhere to be seen. Soon, his oxygen tank rises to the surface, and then Lawson himself shows. The sheriff struggles to pull the officer's body onto the boat. Eventually, he doesn't pull out the whole body, but rather only a half of it. Yeah, it's not a pleasant sight. Sheriff Hank meets with Officer Jack Wells and tells him this horrifying story. Could it have been, beavers? But are they really capable of doing such a thing? A new day is dawning, the city is bustling with life. A paleontologist of a local museum, Kelly Scott, is very nervous. The thing is, she's been recently dumped by her boyfriend. Moreover, turns out her best friend stole him away. It couldn't have gotten any worse. Kelly is visited by her boss, Kevin, and we learn that he is her ex-boyfriend. The man tells her that a police officer was attacked at Lake Black. Rumor has it that a dinosaur tooth was discovered at the crime scene. Kelly is sure that it's nonsense and goes to Lake Black to find out what really happened. Kelly takes a flight to the state of Maine. She meets Sheriff Hank, and the man takes her to the morgue in order to show her that very unfortunate tooth. The woman studies it and concludes that it is a tooth of some giant reptile. Kelly wants to examine the body of the officer, however, she nearly faints when doing that. Kelly decides to go to Lake Black. She learns that nothing unusual has ever happened here. The sheriff takes his weapon and introduces Kelly to Officer Jack Wells. The men really don't like the fact that some random woman from a museum was sent there. So the three characters are boating in the middle of the lake. It looks completely safe and calm. The sheriff and the officers are interviewing a local woman, Mrs. Bickerman. The woman admits that her husband has recently died and it was her fault. She says that she hit him with a frying pan and buried him not far from their home. The three people go to the Lake Black again. The sheriff says they will put up tents on the shore. Kelly opposes the idea, and at this moment, they notice something strange in the water. This is a real moose head. The sheriff, Jack, and Kelly set up camp. The woman hates tourism and insects. That's why she is very angry. Soon a small helicopter approaches their camp. This is a mythology professor and a crocodile enthusiast, Hector Sir. Kelly thinks he is mad, but he was asked to investigate this strange incident too. But there is a problem. Crocodiles don't inhabit the state of Maine. The sheriff, Jack, Kelly, and Hector go to the lake again. The lake looks completely calm again. Only Hector is convinced that something is in the water. Suddenly, something capsizes the boat with Sheriff and Kelly. The people end up in the water, but fortunately, they get pulled out of the water before a tragedy happens. They find a leg on the shore near the lake that probably belonged to a human. Now Hector is 100% sure that it is a crocodile. However, life goes on, and at sunset the characters throw a party in their tents. Hector asks two policemen to dig a huge pit. He is going to lure the crocodile to the shore using loud music. However, the sheriff doesn't like the plan, and he demands that they stop the festivities. Kelly and Jack watch Lake Black with curiosity. Kelly admits that Jack sent her here so she wouldn't interfere with his affairs with another woman, and she doesn't want to go back. At night, the sheriff walks out of the tent in order to relieve his bladder. He hears a strange noise and grabs his gun. He sees Hector in the bushes setting up new traps. Because of their loud arguing, everyone in the camp wakes up and a scandal ensues. The sheriff falls into one of Hector's traps. A new day dawns. The people set off across the lake again. They try to lure the reptile using a recording of other crocodiles. Hector and Jack dive into the water to look closer at everything. They find the body of a large cow on a lake bed. Meanwhile, Kelly, the sheriff, and his assistant Burke wait for them in the boat. Suddenly, something strongly pushes them, and Kelly ends up in the water. The men want to draw closer to her and pull her on board, but the motorboat won't start. Evidently, the crocodile damaged it. They finally manage to start the boat with difficulty and pull Kelly out of the water. Jack surfaces too, and Hector follows him. Officer Burke leans over the water, and at this moment, the crocodile jumps out. Just one bite, and Burke is no more. Hector tries to support the sheriff, but it's not working. Besides, Hank steps into another trap. Having set himself free, the man charges at Hector with a stick. At this moment, a huge grizzly bear emerges from the bushes. However, it doesn't manage to attack people. The giant lake crocodile jumps out of the water, grabs the bear, and drags him to the lake bed. In the evening, the guys argue about what they should do. Their discussion ends in a fight. Kelly notices a scratch on Jack's hand and bandages it. We can see that they really like each other. Hank and Hector watch the video about crocodiles. The sheriff still can't understand how a reptile ended up in this lake. On the next day, the characters set out for reconnaissance again. They see giant crocodile traces on the wet ground near the lake. Hector patrols the area on a helicopter along with his assistant Sharon. Kelly finds Berg's head in the mud. The woman starts to panic. At this moment, the team members see Mrs. Bickerman not far from them. The old widow leads blindfolded cows to the lake and feeds them to the giant crocodile. The sheriff demands the pensioner to explain herself. Mrs. Bickerman confesses that she has been feeding the crocodile for a whopping 6 years, and she became a widow because the crocodile accidentally confused her husband with its meal. The mad Mrs. Bickerman is placed under house arrest. Hector dives into the lake again, hoping to encounter the crocodile. Sharon contacts the sheriff and asks him for help. At first, Hector doesn't see anything suspicious in the water, but soon the giant reptile stealthily swims up to him. The man starts panicking and asks Sharon to start the helicopter. He manages to get aboard. The crocodile latches onto one part of the helicopter with its teeth, but Sharon fires at him and they manage to lift off. The sheriff and Jack tell of Hector for his stupid actions, and Kelly comes to support him. The man promises not to go into the water again, but he wants to save this crocodile at any cost. The sheriff asks for backup. The reptile is to be put to sleep. Hector begs them not to do it. He suggests luring the crocodile out of the water with bait and shooting it with a tranquilizer. Having thought about it for a while, Jack accepts Hector's suggestion. The characters take away one of Mrs. Bickerman's cows, fasten it to the helicopter and slowly submerge it into the lake. The poor animal is serving as bait. The sheriff hands his assistant rifles with tranquilizers. Also, they get huge nets ready. The cow approaches the water. It doesn't like it and it fearfully flails its hooves. Many hours pass by like this. Evening falls. The people are about to cancel the operation. But at this moment, Hector notices the crocodile on the radar. The huge reptile is drawing nearer. The cow is tugged to the shore. The crocodile rears up and lunges at its prey. At this moment, it's being shot with tranquilizer darts. Suddenly, Hector's helicopter loses control, and the cow falls into the water and the helicopter falls there after it. The man needs to be rescued urgently. The people grab their weapons. The crocodile appears near the helicopter. However, all of a sudden, the reptile changes its course and heads towards the shore. The crocodile comes ashore and lunges at the people. The people try to escape from it in a pickup truck. However, Kelly loses her balance and falls to the ground. Jack hurries to rescue her, but this giant reptile is not afraid of bullets. The crocodile throws Kelly into the lake with its tail, and the woman swims towards the helicopter. She dives in and catches her foot on underwater roots. The crocodile shows up near her and opens its mouth, but Kelly miraculously manages to free herself and to surface. Hector is waiting for her there. The giant reptile attacks again, trying to bite through the helicopter and ends up being trapped. Seizing the moment, Kelly and Hector manage to come ashore. The crocodile is shot with tranquilizer darts, and the giant reptile is slowly falling asleep. The sheriff wants to get rid of the predator, but Hector begs him not to do it. Jack fires one more dart at the predator. At this moment, another crocodile attacks Hector. It bites him, but Hank manages to rescue the man using a grenade launcher. Soon, several more officers arrive. They load the immobilized crocodile onto a truck. And by the way, the adventurous cow survived too. Hector is driven to a hospital and the sheriff comes with him. Jack asks Kelly out on a date. A week later, Mrs. Bickerman comes to the lake and feeds croutons to baby crocodiles. Well, well.